Have you ever dreamed of moving to another country, only to find out it's nothing like you imagined? In 2025, thousands of expats are packing their bags, selling their homes, and saying goodbye, leaving behind countries they once thought would be their forever home. Some are escaping sky-high living costs. Others are frustrated with new laws, safety concerns, or changes in the job market. And a few are simply realizing life there isn't as perfect as the glossy travel blogs made it look. Today, we're counting down the 10 countries where expats are moving out fast, and the reasons might just surprise you. If you've ever thought about moving abroad, you'll want to hear this all the way to number 1, because it could change the way you see your dream destination. 10. Thailand. Thailand has long been one of the most popular destinations for expats, especially retirees, digital nomads, and small business owners. With its stunning beaches, vibrant street markets, and famously warm hospitality, many thought they had found paradise. But in 2025, more foreigners are quietly booking one-way flights out. Why? The first and most obvious reason: the cost of living is no longer as cheap as it used to be. In Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and even smaller towns, rent prices have climbed sharply. Imported goods cost far more due to global shipping costs, and fuel prices are eating into everyone's budget. Then there's the visa situation. Thailand's immigration rules have become tighter, with new requirements and frequent changes that make it stressful to stay long-term. Retirees on fixed incomes find it harder to meet the financial proof required, and digital nomads face crackdowns if they're caught working without the right permits. On top of that, health insurance is now mandatory for certain visas, which adds hundreds of dollars a month for older expats. Some also mention that while Thai culture is friendly, language barriers and a sense of never truly fitting in can wear on you after years. The weather, once a selling point, is becoming more unpredictable, with hotter summers and heavier floods in rainy season. All of this together means many foreigners are now choosing to return home or try somewhere else in Southeast Asia. 9. Canada. Canada's image as a safe, friendly, and opportunity-filled country still holds true, but life for expats in 2025 is hitting new challenges. The first and biggest reason people are leaving? The cost of housing. Cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and even smaller hubs like Halifax have some of the highest real estate and rental prices in the world. For many immigrants, the dream of owning a home here is now impossible. Combine that with rising grocery bills, high taxes, and long, cold winters, and the shine begins to fade. Another problem: healthcare. Canada's public system is free, but wait times for surgeries, specialist appointments, and even basic checkups have grown painfully long. Some expats say it feels like you get free healthcare, but only if you can wait months for it. Job competition is another frustration. Despite needing skilled workers, many industries still require Canadian experience, a catch-22 for newcomers. Add in strict permanent residency requirements and slow processing times, and some people simply give up and move to countries with faster paths to citizenship. For others, the isolation of living in such a vast country, especially in smaller towns, makes them long for the warmth and community they had back home. 8. Portugal. Not long ago, Portugal was one of Europe's top expat hotspots: cheap cost of living, beautiful weather, friendly locals, and an easygoing lifestyle. But in 2025, the tide is turning. The country's popularity with foreigners, especially under the Golden Visa program, has driven housing prices to record highs. In Lisbon and Porto, locals and foreigners alike are being priced out of the city centers. The government has also made major changes to tax rules, removing some of the generous benefits that once attracted retirees and remote workers. For example, the non-habitual resident tax regime is being phased out, which means higher taxes for many foreigners. Inflation has also hit Portugal hard. Daily costs, from eating out to utility bills, are no longer as affordable as they once were. Some expats also say the romantic image of life in Portugal, sipping wine in a sunny cafe by the sea, fades when you face slow bureaucracy, limited job opportunities, and an economy heavily dependent on tourism. While it's still a beautiful place, for many, the reality in 2025 no longer matches the dream that brought them here. 7. South Africa. South Africa offers stunning landscapes, from the wild coastlines to the dramatic mountains and wildlife reserves. Many expats fell in love with its beauty and cultural richness. But in 2025, more are leaving than arriving. Safety is the main reason. Crime rates in certain areas remain high, and even though many residents live without major issues, the constant need for extra security fences, alarms, guard services can be draining. Economic instability is another factor. Load shedding, planned power cuts due to electricity shortages, continues to disrupt daily life. For businesses, it's a nightmare. For families, it's exhausting. The job market is competitive, and for foreigners, work permits can be hard to get unless you have highly specialized skills. Inflation has pushed up the cost of essentials, and the South African rand remains volatile against major currencies, making budgeting difficult for expats relying on savings from abroad. For some, the decision to leave isn't about disliking the country, it's about wanting a more stable and predictable life. 6. United Kingdom. The UK has always been a top choice for expats thanks to its history, culture, and global influence. But in 2025, a noticeable number are leaving. The first issue is the cost of living crisis. Rent, utilities, and groceries have all surged in price, especially in London and other big cities. For many expats, salaries aren't keeping up. The National Health Service, while still admired, is struggling under pressure, leading to long waits for care. Visa restrictions post-Brexit have made it harder for non-British citizens to work and stay long-term. Many who moved to the UK for career growth now find more opportunities and lower living costs elsewhere. The weather, always a topic in Britain, wears down some expats over time. Grey skies, rain, and long winters can affect mental health, especially for those from sunnier countries. Combined with a sense of political uncertainty, these factors are pushing more people to look for new horizons. 5. New Zealand. New Zealand's stunning scenery and outdoor lifestyle attract thousands every year, but in 2025, more are quietly leaving. Housing costs have skyrocketed, especially in Auckland and Wellington. While the country offers a safe and peaceful environment, job opportunities can be limited outside major cities. For skilled migrants, visa pathways have tightened, and many industries still prefer hiring citizens first. The distance from other countries is another challenge. Visiting family abroad is expensive and time-consuming. Some expats say that while New Zealand is breathtaking, it can feel isolated, especially after a few years. Healthcare wait times and rising living costs add to the reasons people decide to move on. 4. Spain. Spain remains a dream for many: sunny weather, rich culture, amazing food. But for some expats in 2025, the reality isn't matching the fantasy. The job market is tough, with high unemployment in certain regions. Salaries are often much lower than in Northern Europe or North America, making it hard to save. Rising housing costs in cities like Barcelona and Madrid are pushing both locals and expats to smaller towns. Bureaucracy is another headache. Dealing with paperwork can be slow and confusing, especially for those not fluent in Spanish. Healthcare is good but can have long wait times in certain areas. And while the lifestyle is relaxed, some expats struggle with the slower pace, especially if they're used to faster, more efficient systems. Over time, these frustrations can outweigh the sunshine and sangria. 3. Singapore. Singapore is known for its safety, cleanliness, and economic strength, but it's also one of the most expensive cities in the world. In 2025, many expats, especially those without high corporate salaries, are leaving due to the cost. Rent can take up half or more of your income. Education for children is pricey, with international school fees reaching tens of thousands a year. While Singapore offers an efficient lifestyle, it can also feel high pressure and competitive. The small size of the country means limited space for nature, and some foreigners miss having easy access to countryside escapes. The government has also tightened work visa rules, making it harder for mid-level professionals to stay long-term. For many, the decision to leave is purely financial. They love Singapore, but their budgets can't keep up. 2. Australia. Australia's laid-back lifestyle, beaches, and big cities still draw newcomers, but in 2025, more are moving out. Housing costs in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane are some of the highest in the world. Groceries and everyday expenses are also steep, partly due to import costs. The job market can be competitive, and certain industries have strict visa sponsorship requirements. Distance from other parts of the world is a common complaint. Visiting family in Europe or the Americas can take over 20 hours of flying and cost thousands. Climate change is also affecting Australia, with hotter summers, more intense bushfire seasons, and flooding in some regions. For some expats, the mix of high costs and environmental challenges is enough to make them search for a new base. 1. United States. The US remains a land of opportunity for many, but in 2025, it's also the country where the largest number of expats are moving out. The reasons are varied. Healthcare is the biggest one. Without insurance, medical bills can be financially devastating. Even with insurance, costs are high, and navigating the system can be overwhelming. Housing affordability is another crisis. In major cities, rents and home prices have soared beyond reach. Safety concerns, including gun violence in certain areas, also weigh heavily on some expats. The work culture, with long hours and limited vacation days, can be exhausting compared to other countries. For many, the political climate and social divisions add another layer of stress. It's not that the US doesn't have incredible opportunities, it does. But for a growing number of foreigners, the trade-offs no longer feel worth it, and they're choosing to move on to places where healthcare is affordable, work-life balance is better, and living costs are manageable. So there you have it, 10 countries where expats are moving out fast in 2025. This list doesn't mean these countries aren't worth visiting or even living in. Every place has its strengths and weaknesses. But it's a reminder that living abroad is very different from taking a vacation. The dream can be real, but so can the challenges. If you're thinking about moving overseas, research deeply, talk to people who live there, and consider not just the beauty and excitement, but also the everyday realities. And if you've lived in one of these countries, we'd love to hear your experience in the comments. Where would you move to next? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone dreaming about a new life abroad.